forward, Hinga Salmani, goalie Tituan LaRue. Tim's going to open with a statement and a little bit of Mark for questions for the student athletes, and then questions for Tim.
So, again, tonight was a Big West game, and what that means is it doesn't matter what the team is, what their record is. They're going to show up and play hard. They're going to compete. They're going to give you everything, and I thought that was what happened tonight. For some reason, which I'm just not quite sure, I thought we felt a little tired. I thought we looked a little tired. Again, it's a tough schedule in terms of a Thursday night game. Even though you're back home, it's sometimes things catch up with you a little bit. But I just didn't think that our energy was there as well as it could have been. But in either case, we got the goal. We had to defend. I was very happy that we were able to close out a game. And obviously, at this point of the year, we're a little less worried about style points than just picking up wins. And so tonight was an important win for us. It gets us going again. It starts to keep the build from what happened last weekend. And so I'm happy we won. I don't think we'll be looking at that as a highlight video for anything special. But again, we got what we needed, which was the goal from Hinga, and we got the, I thought, very clean play from our goalkeeper tonight.
Questions for the student athletes?
I think it looked like on the goal, Josue was playing with the ball, and it looked like he had a couple of options. And we were thinking at the time, get me the ball, and it looked like Kevin was coming at a certain point, and Nick was on the other side. And were you thinking, I can do something with it if you get me the ball?
Yeah, you kind of never know, with Josue, all his skill.
Yeah.
Give it to you at any time, so just got to stay open. I was very lucky to peel off on a defender and found some space, but yeah, just trying to stay open.
You gave yourself a little bit of a tough angle, but it looks like you liked that shot, huh?
Yeah, I like just touching it on my left and having that angle to get the far goal shot. I feel comfortable with it.
I think this might get you going. You've played so well, and you've set up other players and so forth, and now it's your third goal, and I know Tim feels you're capable of a lot of goals this year. He said at the beginning of the year, kind of feel like this could be like a breakout for you?
Yeah, I feel really comfortable, playing up top. It's nice. I get to run behind the defense and getting more chances. Like Tim said, just got to keep putting them in frame. I'm going to, get the result if I just keep doing that and keep getting good service, eventually I'll go in it back in the net.
Yeah, before I ask Tituan, Tim, just following up on that comment about Hinga playing up top. I mean, you've made a little bit of an adjustment. Tell us about that, and what did you see with that?
I just think that we've gotten a little bit stagnant offensively because Nick is kind of more of a post-up guy, and then all of a sudden it's hard for us to stretch the defense, and it wasn't by design. I mean, we went with a Hinga at point because Nick played center back, but I liked what we were getting off of that, and again he's very, very good at battling with defenders, and then he always hits the ground first, and the ball's left there, and next thing you know, he scrambles and he plays off the edges. And again, the goal was a perfect example of him getting just outside of the defender and then facing up and taking a touch and hitting. And so yeah, it's a different look. It's a different look to go from a big target player up front, even though Nick runs pretty well, to somebody who's absolutely committed to getting behind. It's kind of a worst nightmare for defenders. And I thought maybe we could play Nick a little more underneath. I will say this: they came out in almost in a 3-5-2 again. And again, interesting enough, we haven't seen a 3-5-2 in probably 7-8 years, and we've seen it 3 times. And in every single time we've seen the 3-5-2, again, you don't prepare for it, so it changes how you pick people up. It changes your movements. The guys that are normally open playing against maybe a 4-4-2 aren't there, and so I look at the fact that we had problems against St. Mary's, and in their shape, and we had again some problems getting the ball moving tonight, and I do credit that to not getting a chance to work against that, and all of a sudden you show up. I was very surprised when I saw that tonight, actually.
Tituan, you made some pretty good saves tonight, and the one that was probably the scariest is when Ortiz got the ball pretty deep in the box and took a pretty hard shot at you, and you're right there. Tell me about that play. What did you see, and how did you react? Was it just a reaction play?
Yeah, it was very quick, very fast. He played very fast. So yeah, you have to be ready for every goal. And in this case, I was ready. I anticipate a little because I saw his right feet open, so I could understand. I could anticipate a little. I touched it with my left hand, and so
Yeah.
Fortunately there was no goal.
You've been working with different combinations with center backs, and tonight, of course, you got Jan playing now, and Lamar had a pretty good match. Tell me about that, your communication with those two guys, especially because they're both kind of new.
Yeah,
Just
so
because you're-
obviously it's difficult because we didn't know each other, so we had to learn to play together. But it's going well. Like, we communicate a lot, we talk a lot together. So yeah, we still need to work together, but it's gonna be all right.
Tim, when you lost,
Anything else for student athletes?
I'm good. Yeah,
Okay, you guys are free to go.
yeah. Thanks, you guys. Good job.
Thank you.
First, I guess one of the most important questions I need to ask you is how's Josue? I mean, looked like he.
Yeah, he you know, it's interesting because for the
You got the mic.
first time all season, I thought he looked tired tonight. And you could tell he was tired because his passes were always short. So I looked at him, and it's tough because even Josue tired is still better than anything we got going on right now, in my opinion. So you're always balancing the fact that, you know, he's tired, but, you know, you saw the Hinga ball, the other run he made through the middle where I thought he could have scored. Even a tired Josue. We're just trying to find ways, very similar to Luis Silva, of where can we play him on the field to kind of save his legs a little bit. And it's kind of tough when you don't get the second goal or the third goal, because tonight would have been a great night to pull him out. But, you know, at this point of the season, we need wins. So, yeah, I thought he was tired. And I thought, but with that, he's still, again, he does so many things, even late in the game. So to answer your question, I think he's fine. I think he took a knock and was very tired. And I think he felt like, you know, I'm pretty much done here.
Yeah.
I thought the other player that looked a little bit tired tonight again was actually Kevin. You know, normally Kevin is really bouncing around and very active, but I thought it looked like it had caught up a little bit with him today. You know, it's interesting. It's hard. We now have our GPSs. We can now tell you, you know, who's run the most miles, and the three players continually, Josue and Kevin, are at the top of our list every single game. And when you hit game 12 and you hit game 13, you know, you wish you had some other options, but those two players right now are, you know, it's driving the team. And so we just have to tactically, I think, be creative with how we do things. How can we keep them on? Maybe I'll float one of them up front a little bit. As you can see with the other forwards, like, you know, Hinga, we can always bring him in and give him minutes. And, you know, Hinga's probably never going to play more than 60 minutes in a game. So he's always good to go, you know, pretty much every game. But we had, 2 overtime games last weekend, you know, 6 hours on the bus both days. And here it is on Thursday. And I thought we looked sluggish. And again, it's hard to yell at him because of the amount of time we put in here.
Yeah. You have to play without Andy on Saturday, and of course it cuts into your depth a little bit. How vital is that going to be?
You know, again, I think we've all kind of learned, you know, if this situation, you know, whether he gets hurt or it's a red card or something, you just kind of, again, if everybody knows Andy, he's the last player to go over a ball and go for somebody, you know, which is why, yeah, I get it. He got him, and it's a foul and maybe a yellow card, but, you know, a straight red. Again, I didn't see that, but, you know, it's part of the game. You know, it is what it is, and obviously we were able to survive that. But again, you're asking players to work really hard when they're a man down, and you know, it's almost feels like overtime when those guys get done because they're playing for an extra player. But we battled through it. We got the win. And at this point of the season, if you look at the conference, you know, every single win becomes really, really big. And I do think that we will be fired up, I think, to play Saturday night. I really do. Northridge comes in as a team that I think plays good soccer, will put the ball on the ground. It'll be a good soccer game, and I think Saturday we'll see what we can do about getting our legs back. And I may go back to what I did against Fullerton, where I started rotating 16, 17 players. So you're going to see probably a lot more players on that field, just so we keep our energy up.
You feel good about the combination of Lamar and John at center back? It seemed like Lamar was pretty active tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting once again because I think they do a lot of good things. What we have to stay away from is that mistake. It's no different. It's like almost center backs are kind of a little bit like goalkeepers. You can have a great game and then you make a mistake. The problem is when you make a mistake at that position, it's a goal, or it can be. I mean, we lucked out tonight. The kid hit the post. Otherwise, it's 1-1. So that was just lucky. And I always feel like when you go through the course of a season, you have a disappointment of UCLA and Berkeley. Sometimes it comes out your way on the backside of it, and tonight it sort of did, because that should have been a goal. And then on the other hand, obviously we missed. I thought Noah had a great look on the back post, and really should have finished that. But all in all, I thought it was they did fine. I think the combination between those two players and the player we play in front of them. So once again, it's not as much your play or his play, it's how everybody plays together and collectively. Do they get on the same page? Can they pick up runners? Do they know what they're doing? So the only way for me to really assess is I'll go home tonight and tomorrow and we'll look at it and we'll see that, overall that was a really good game. That was a few good decisions, things you don't see from the sideline. Or you'll look at it and say, oh, I can't believe he stepped there, and what was he thinking? And once again, we have one day to try to do some on-field coaching. When this player steps here, you don't want to go here. You want to make sure you're here. But what you did see with Lamar was he does have the physical attributes to really make up for mistakes. And so the 2 or 3 mistakes he might have made 3 steps later, he's getting his leg into something, or he's winning a head ball, or he's clearing a ball out. So that's what I think he brings to that position, which a lot of players just aren't able to do, the ability to make up for a mistake.
Last question.